Galadriel, Halbrand and the armies of Numenor finally rushed off to save the Southlanders. But not just to save them, to try and give them strength, give them pride, to give them a homeland they can be happy with, and to provide them with a new king. And the episode ends with their country turning into Mordor. We can safely say they messed up. Despite winning the war, they messed up by letting the hilt go to the old man. A lot of people are wondering how the old guy even managed to get hold of the hilt. The reason is that Adar, the elf Uruk guy, managed to slip it to him before escaping. He took the real hilt, gave it to the old guy, told him where to go with it, what to do, and then he wrapped up a hatchet in the cloth and ran off, tricking Galadriel and the other elf guy, whatever, I can't remember what he's called, whatever his name is, into going after him. They captured him. They brought back a hatchet wrapped in cloth and decided that they had done it, that they had succeeded, that everything had gone great. For some reason, nobody decided to check it, except for a 12-year-old boy. Well done. Absolutely fantastic job, guys. Amazing. Turns out the tunnels they were digging this whole time were actually for this purpose. I thought they were digging it as a clever way of getting around without anybody knowing them. And also because they're afraid of the light, so the best way for them to move is underground. They can get by without anyone seeing them. They can keep out of the light and move however much they like, day or night. But it turns out it was actually for this purpose. It was actually just to direct the water towards the mountain so that they could unleash Udun, which means they had been planning this for a very long time. This episode changes everything. The Southlanders have now lost their home, which is now covered in darkness. The Queen and the army of Numenor have now been stranded in what is now enemy territory. With Mordor beginning to be formed, it's only a matter of time before Sauron makes his appearance to take his place as its ruler. I think that Sauron will make a big move soon. He might not appear in this season, but I think he'll appear sometime soon after the events that just happened in this episode. I think that it's possible that in the last episode of the season, we might get a short teaser right at the end, showing Sauron about to enter into the play. When Sauron appears, Halbrand will have a choice. He is now the king of the Southlanders, but he became the king just when the worst disaster in Southland history happens to take place. Mount Doom has risen up right where they live, with them now living at the foot of Doom. It's going to be difficult for him to protect them. In the process of him trying to save them is how this happened, is how their homeland has now become Mordor, Udun, Hell, the home of the Uruk, the place that Sauron will rule. How is he going to redeem himself for this? How is he going to keep his people safe after the worst possible scenario takes place as soon as he takes charge? Well, I think he's going to prioritize keeping his people safe. And I think the only way to keep his people safe is by bending the knee to Sauron. I think with them living right at the foot of Mount Doom, there is no escaping Sauron. They'd be the first in his line of attack. There'd be no way for them to defeat him. Eventually, they're just going to give in. They won't have a choice. Halbrand will give in to Sauron. The Southlanders will pledge their loyalty to Sauron, similar to how they pledged it to Morgoth in the past, and they'll just repeat the events of the past again. I think what we're seeing with Halbrand isn't a redemption arc of him becoming a better man, but it's a fall arc of him becoming a minion of darkness, one of Sauron's most important figureheads. And I think Galadriel is going to have to try and deal with the guilt of knowing that she actually made this, that she brought this guy who was just a nobody on a random raft out in the sea, who wanted to stay in Numenor and just enjoy his life, and she pushed him into becoming king. She pushed him into leading these people, and as a result becomes one of Sauron's, potentially one of his most important minions. That's going to be an incredible, difficult thing for her to deal with. It's going to cause a lot of guilt. It could be part of what allows her to mellow out and be less hot-headed than she is now. Because we know that the Galadriel of the future, the Galadriel that we all remember from the previous films, is a much more mild-mannered, charming, intelligent woman. She's not hot-headed. She goes about things through clever means instead of forceful ones. This could be a turning point for her in realizing that she needs to step back and think about her actions a bit more. And it could be a big catalyst for change in her development. But what do you think? Will Halbrand bend the knee or fight back against Sauron? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.